This is gonna be a really fun video today. I'm really excited about this. All right, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome to Fat History. It's where we talk about cool fat people throughout history who've either been misrepresented or had their story not told. Today we're going to be talking about somebody who you may know their name, but you may not know their actual true story. She is one of my very favorite people in this entire world, Nicole Smith. Honestly, I could talk about her forever. I find her so fascinating, and honestly, I love her so much. And I would love to tell you guys the true story about her. She was such a beautiful and special person, and her story was so misrepresented and skewed. It makes me so angry. And even if her story has been told a million times before, it's almost never told through the lens of someone who knows what it's like to try to make it in this world as a fat person. Today, I'm going to tell you about her backstory. I'm going to clear up some rumors, and I'm going to tell you about the ways that her life was affected by her size and about the stigma around that. So without further ado, let's get started. Nicole Smith was born November 28, 1967 in a small town in Texas. She absolutely hated it there. She always felt like she was meant for more in this world, and she just never felt like this small town life was for her. Whenever she was in 10th grade, she dropped out of high school and started working at the local chicken shack. She fell in love with the fry cook there, and they quickly got married. She was 17 when she got married, and she was 18 when she had her son Daniel, who was her entire world. She loved him so much. Honestly, she loved him more than anything in this world. If there's anything that can be said for Nicole Smith, it's that everything she did in this world was for him. Things ended up not working out with her husband, and so in 1967, they got a divorce and she moved to Houston. Because she was a young single mom and she didn't have a high school education, she didn't have a lot of options, and she felt like she literally had to do whatever it took to provide for her son. She started dancing. Now, initially she did not know that it was going to be topless, and whenever she found out that it was, she was really, really uncomfortable about it. It was said that she was really shy and timid, and she was absolutely terrified. But she was young and she felt like she didn't have a choice, and so she had to provide for her son, and so she did it. And she made a ton of money doing it too. Throughout her career as a dancer, she never actually did become comfortable with it. It always scared her and it always made her uncomfortable. She never really saw it as like the final thing for her. She saw it as more like a way to get the things that she wanted and to get to where she wanted to be in life. It was around this time that she started getting breast augmentation surgeries, which would mark the beginning of her back pain issues and also the complications from her breast implants themselves. But we will get into that later. So it was around this time that she would also meet her future husband, J. Howard Marshall. He was an 87-year-old billionaire and he fell in love with her immediately. I think a lot of people have it in their head that she was only after his money and that there was no possible way that she could have loved him. But honestly, I totally believe that she actually did love him. She genuinely loved spending time with him and hearing him tell stories, and she made him feel alive again after losing his wife and his muse. He just loved her. They were both very lonely people and they kept each other company. And I just want to point out that if she was only after his money, she could have accepted his first proposal a week after meeting her, but she refused that time and several other times because she refused to have people think that she was only after his money. She said she would not marry him until she had made a name for herself, until she could provide for herself, until she did not need his money. It was really important to her. And it was important that everyone knew that too. It was said that at that time she had a lot of different boyfriends and girlfriends, and she just really loved to indulge in the finer things in life. She loved fancy food and drinks and dancing and just enjoying life with everyone around her. One of her boyfriends at the time took some Polaroid photos of her and he sent them in to the recruiter at Playboy, and they called them the very next day. They were like, immediately, yes, like Immediately, yes. In March of 1992, she was on the cover of Playboy magazine, and this was the cover that would change the trajectory of her life. The person that runs Guess Jeans saw her on the cover and immediately set up a meeting with her. He helped her come up with the name Anna Nicole Smith, and a superstar was born. To fully understand why she made such an impact, you have to look at the beauty standards of the time. A lot of models at the time were known for being bone thin. Like, the common term was heroin chic because models looked like they were emaciated from drugs. And like, I know that we have a lot of conversation these days around like the impact of models and like how we need representation for like all bodies, but at the time that was non-existent. Like, that did not exist. So for her to come in and she was like 6 foot tall and like curvy and just a bombshell, people did not know what to do with it. Like, they were not prepared for her. She took the world by storm, and the world was mesmerized by her. She was so beautiful. There was actually this ad that was said to be so attractive that in Norway and Sweden, it had to be taken down because it was so attractive that it was causing auto accidents, which, I mean, she was very beautiful. It was at this time that she also accepted a few movie roles. And at this time, people were absolutely in love with her. Like, everything that she put out, people were just eating up. And so it was at this time that she felt like she had made it. She had made herself in this world. She had made a place for herself. And so finally, she accepted the proposal from J. Howard Marshall and she married him. At the time, she was 26 years old and he was 89. And so, once again, people did not believe that there was a possibility, like, at all in this world that she could possibly love him. And it's so sad because she genuinely did. People ate her alive. She was literally turned into a punchline, a joke. It was so sad. But she didn't care. She loved him and she knew that. And that was all that mattered. His son even hired someone to follow them around so that he could make sure that she was not taking him to update his will. Which I will point out once again, if she wanted that, she could have literally had anything she wanted. He would have given her anything she wanted. But she was not after his money. He had told her time and time again, when I die, half of everything is yours. And she was fine with that. She was not after everything, which once again was like almost like $1 billion. Like, if she wanted it, she could have had it. After 14 months of marriage, her husband passed away. And unfortunately, he had actually not updated his will to include her. This would start the years and years of court battles, because Texas said that she was not owed anything, and in California, they said that she was owed half of everything. And so because the two courts didn't agree, they had to get that figured out. It ended up making it all the way to the Supreme Court, which, as if that's not insane enough, she actually ended up winning the case. Unfortunately, she would never actually receive any money from it at all because they just ended up appealing it. And between the appeals process over and over throughout the years, it is still going on. The last thing I could find on it is in 2019, there was a court case that was scheduled, but I didn't find anything else after that. And, you know, between then and the pandemic, there's a solid chance that it hasn't even made it to court yet again. So if anyone has any updates on that, feel free to leave it in the comments. I would love to know more information if you have it. Let's take a quick break and have a look at a clip from a partner for today's video. All right, y'all, this is the new glow up sequin flare dress from the new Patrick Star collection with Fashion to Figure. I am so excited to work with them on this video. I absolutely adore their clothes. It can be really difficult to find good, high quality plus size clothes that are super on trend and be able to trust that they're going to fit. But I always have good luck with them. Their measurements are always so spot on. If you've never looked at their stuff before, check them out. Their link will be down below in the description. And let's get back to the story. Hi, welcome back. So let's take a look at how weight affected Anna Nicole Smith's career, because it was definitely a factor. Throughout her career, her weight would fluctuate a lot, and she was never allowed to have it not be an issue. Like literally every interview, every job, every article that was written about her, it had to do with her weight, whether it was she's gained weight or she's lost weight or how'd she lose that weight. It's just it was constantly an issue. It was, look how good she looks, she lost weight, look how bad she looks, she gained weight. It was exhausting. The next couple of years would be a little bit up and down for Anna. In the year 2000, she walked the runway for the Lane Bryant spring lingerie collection, and things were starting to look up for her. In the year 2000, she walked the runway for the Lane Bryant spring lingerie collection, and it was here that things started looking up for her. It was in the year 2002 that she got her deal for her TV show called The Anna Nicole Smith Show, which, if you have not seen it, I highly recommend looking it up. I'm not sure where you can watch it these days, but look it up, watch it. It is so good. She's literally so funny and entertaining. I can't recommend it enough. The first season is amazing. Towards the end, like the second and third season, it does get a little bit rough to watch. You can definitely tell that she's both in physical and emotional pain, and you just want to give her a hug. Like, she's so lovable and she gives until it physically hurts. And so you just want to hug her and love on her and just tell her that she's loved. In 2003, she started working for this predatory brand called Trim Spa. It was a weight loss system, and she made a ton of money after she lost about 70 pounds. In 2004, she had a bit of an embarrassing moment at the American Music Awards whenever she was introducing Kanye West. But the night before the event, she had had a seizure, which was actually related to her breast implants. Told you that would come up again. They actually caused her to have violent seizures, which honestly are more common than you would think. But between that and the medication that she was on, she was really not in a position to go on stage, but she couldn't really be told no, and so she did it anyways. And it was really bad. It was not good. She looked like her speech was slurred, and everyone said that she was like drunk or on drugs. I feel like she probably had a lot of pressure from the brand that she was working with, Trim Spa, to actually go on stage and to fulfill her like contractual obligated, whatever. And it ended up being really embarrassing for her, especially when it was from a seizure that she had the night before, but people didn't want to hear that. Especially at the time, media was mean. They would take and latch onto anything possible, and they would just rip her apart. About a year later, she found out that she was pregnant with her daughter, Danny Lynn, and she moved to the Bahamas where she had obtained permanent residency. This was a blissful time with her. Honestly, all she ever wanted in life was a daughter. She had a hope chest that she had set up with things for her, where she would just buy little things for her all the time, because that's all she wanted in life. She wanted a little daughter that she could treat like a princess, and finally her wish had come true. Danny Lynn was born September 7th, 2006, which makes her 15 now. And if you look at interviews of her, y'all, she is the spitting image of her mother. Like, she literally looks just like her. It makes me cry so hard because she's just so sweet and precious, and she is literally just like her mother, and she would be so proud of her. It honestly makes me emotional. 2 days after her daughter Danielyn was born, her son Daniel came to visit the newborn baby, and the day that he got there, he suddenly passed away in the hospital room right next to Anna. It was absolutely devastating. Like, absolutely devastating for Anna. Everything that she did in this world was for him. All she did, everything, was for him. Within 6 months, Anna Nicole Smith would also be dead. The actual cause of her death is highly debated. She had a shot of human growth hormone and B12 and 11 different medications in her system at the time of her passing. But honestly, I truly believe that she died of a broken heart. I don't think that she saw a world that she could live in without her son. I don't think that she could keep going on. I think that her heart just could not handle it. I think that she was just absolutely broken by the grief. She passed away on February 8th, 2007 in a Florida hotel. And it was said that she had the same drugs in her system as her idol, Marilyn Monroe. Honestly, it's sad to think about how differently her life might have gone if she would have lived today. If there's one thing I know, it's that she would have loved DoorDash and Netflix as much as I do. She was such a bright light in this world, and if there's one thing that I wish, it's that I could tell her how much she was loved and appreciated, and how after all these years, we haven't forgotten about her. Doing research on Anna Nicole, I couldn't help but be inspired by her. It's a nice reminder to keep fighting for my place in this world, and that every single little bit counts. She may have been mistreated in her time, but I hope you take away from her story that she deserved to be treated with respect and for her story to be told with love. Because just like her, you deserve respect and you deserve love. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like content like this, feel free to subscribe or go ahead and follow me on Instagram or TikTok. And as always, if there's anyone you want to see me talk about or whose story you feel like deserves to be told, go ahead and send me a message. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. And until next week, bye!